Koreans so far reigning supreme here in Group E, as both of them now will face off in the winners match to find out which one's going to go through to the round of 16, as we have StarDust going up against first.
Yeah, and so far, if we take a look at the bracket, just domination from the Korean players. Some say as expected from them today. StarDust went through Firecake, and first, well, simply put, just absolutely killed Baby Knight 2-0 and fast. And now they go up against each other, and then the Europeans will fight off after in the lower bracket. But we are here to determine who's going through in first place.
All right, so let's talk about this matchup, Sean. A pretty cool PvP series, and we've seen from StarDust, like, I would say a revitalization of his PvP, right? He initially started off in WCS Europe as some guy who came into Protoss games who was, like, really quite cheesy, but then all of a sudden, he just went into these big, strong macro games and was really strong with it.
Yeah, StarDust doesn't quite have the same stats that he has in PvP like he does in the other matchups. It's not mind-blowingly good, but it is still consistent. It is still very strong, and I'm expecting a lot from him today, but he is playing from Korea, which will make things a lot more difficult for him, going up against First, who's here in Europe, playing on the European server, which means he will come into this with a slight advantage for sure. I don't really know in how this is going to play up. We may say aggressive builds come out from StarDust to try and finish this fast, like he did attempt versus Firecake. He could try to drag it out longer and just look to get an advantage, take a fight with that advantage, and hopefully win in that fight. But I think First is definitely going to be feeling confident coming into this.
Yeah.
And be looking to just skyrocket himself to the round of 16.
Yeah. I think for StarDust as well in the end, if you look back at the names that he's taken out in these previous WCS point games, it was DreamHack Bucharest, where he took out people like MC 2-0, Night End 2-0, Wellmu 2-0, which is a really strong list of players. But again, there are downsides to this series, as you mentioned, that he's going to have to play from Korea. And First is very, very scary himself.
For StarDust fans and Mindsanity fans, StarDust would love to get a win here, because if he does, then he's through. He doesn't need to worry about anything else. And like we've seen San, who advanced from this position, he was very thankful that he did manage to escape the round of 32. Likewise, StarDust will be thinking the same, because if he does lose here, he'll have to go up against the winner of Firecake and Baby Knight, which could still see him eliminated. If First was to lose here, I don't think he'd be that worried. I think he'd be like, all right, whatever, you beat me, StarDust, cool, I'll beat one of these Europeans and I'll come through with you. But it's a very different story if StarDust loses here. So StarDust does need this win. It's a big, big win for him. But I'm feeling that this, in favor of First, can really danger the 10th player in the world, the 10th seeded, the 10th ranked player in the world, StarDust.
Yeah, First's just... We haven't seen a whole lot of him outside of when he was playing in WCS, for example, over in Korea during 2013. But that caliber doesn't go away too quickly. I mean, it's still First. It's still a guy that has so much potency behind him, and playing from Europe as well.
All right, but we have to, address this Europe-Korea thing once again.
Yeah.
Let's just go back to the previous group when we had Todd. What happened when Todd and San played against each other?
With Todd taking that first game, I think.
And then San was able to win out anyway. With San being able to win out against the Protoss on the European server, likewise can StarDust do the same. It's not unheard of. And then a question to ask yourselves again. How much do you think that game against Firecake, where we saw from StarDust on Frost, how much was he really affected? It didn't look that much. He adjusted throughout the series. It looked like his micro was still good, and he still looked like a killer like he usually is. So even though it would favor First coming into this, StarDust definitely can put up a fight.
Yeah, I think that with StarDust, especially... for example, we saw MVP playing from Korea. Not this time, but if you think back to previous seasons where he was looking to get to the mid-game, late-game, and then just play it out with the bigger armies, because it's not as micro-intensive, like smaller units are making big decisions. StarDust did the same thing against Firecake in that game on Frost, right? Where it was just, right, oh, I have a big army. It's pretty strong. I'm going to kill things really, really quickly.
That's what he could do here too.
Yeah, could do if he gets to that position.
Well, both these players are champions of 2013 in their own right. We, of course, saw First take the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice tournament earlier on in the year, and we also saw StarDust take DreamHack Summer, their first and only championship titles to their name. Now they go up here head-to-head to find out who can advance on. So far, we've seen StarDust in the WCS Season 3 last year and Season 1 this year with 2 top 8 finishes. Rather well, he played good until close to the end where he was pushed out by first Vortex and then, last season, MC, who went on to win the tournament. StarDust has been stopped by 2 players who've been on form each season, but on the other side of the things, we have First here, who debuts for the first time in the Europe Premier League. And mark my words, he's not going to be eliminated easy in this tournament.
All right, well, our first map between these two guys is going to be Habitation Station. Quite a fast and furious PvP map normally in terms of the kind of power that you see behind like earlier pushes, for example. MC kind of popularized this in the previous year. And so much kind of gone away from that kind of style on this map now. You sometimes do see out those long drawn out games. But again, if anybody kind of would go for a Stargate, it's like, it's normally a Stargate map. Are you really going to go for something like that? So it can be a bit crazy sometimes.
All right, well, do remember to send in your tweets. They will, maybe, if you're lucky, featured throughout the show. Just send in your tweets with a hashtag WCS, and you may see yourself featured with a tweet, whether it be complimenting the players or ourselves or the games. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, do make sure to send us some tweets. If you're tweeting about WCS, just include the hashtag, and it may come on the show. We are seconds away from starting, and it looks like a couple of people were slow in joining the lobby. But once we do kick this off, I'm excited. As you say, Habitation Station. In PvP, it's unlike the other matchups. You have specific styles, which is very common and is played out almost the same every single time. But in PvP, anything is possible from the get-go. Yep. Some people do prefer certain styles, but overall, in Protoss versus Protoss, if you want to be successful, you have to be able to play every style. From Stargate to Blink Play to DTs to Gateway Pressure to Fast Expands. You need to be able to play them all, which is why you can't just really enter a game and say, all right, I'm expecting this from this, and then that from that. Yeah. But overall, confidence towards First.
We haven't seen too much Korean versus Korean so far in this season. We saw one, which was Jakshi versus Yoda, and then we saw Jakshi trying to open up very cheesy. So oftentimes we do actually see that against from Korean against Korean. But maybe we'll see that here. We'll find out in just a little bit. Nothing too crazy going on just yet. Oh, wait. I'll hold the phone. As we have spawning up to the top location, First. I've already said it.
It's First.
It's First, Ray! And up to the top right-hand corner as our red Protoss, it is StarDust. First, why don't you just change your name? And he's proving us pretty right, actually.
Yeah, imagine him finishing in second place. And in second place is First. And then the audience is like, wait, what?
No!
All right, so this game becomes Scout or No Scout from StarDust. He sees this, he can start to change his build a little bit, which would mean no second gas, Chrono Boost not used wildly into his probes, and being able to prepare himself ready to micro in a war here. If he doesn't see this, then all the things probably reversed, and he's going to be in trouble. This is going to be, by the looks of it, the same build that Todd used against San. Double gateway, most likely with a gas here, I'd imagine. Move straight up towards those stalkers. Scout or no scout? Inside the main base is Scout. Does he go down?
Doesn't look like it just yet. He may go after he started like the Cybernetics or something. Slight bit of lag there, but for now, no second scout down to the left. And, down to the south position. And it's going to be extra gateway after the gas.
And double gases too, which is not good for StarDust here.
Bad start, bad start. Koreans, again, they seem to like cheesing out one another in the first game, but it didn't go so well for Jakshi last time. Let's see if it goes better for First.
Well, this has gone pretty good so far.
Yeah.
Very good so far. I mean, without knowing this is happening, this is good. Because you're going to mine a lot of gas. It's not going to be useful in your defense. You need another gateway up here. And if you remember the way that San held this versus Todd, he scouted it and then was able to add on the second gateway. Here comes a probe at a reasonable time for a scout, which shouldn't really give too many alarm bells out.
Where are you going, probe?
StarDust decides to scout after a cyber core.
Oh, he's not going to sit. Oh,
he's
sad times for him.
So
sad times.
the Chrono Boost into the Nexus here, Clara. See that Chrono Boost in the Nexus for StarDust? That's a Chrono Boost not into the gateways for help.
Yeah.
Which is going to be needed.
And the other Chrono Boosts here for first are probably going to go into those gateways quite quickly.
Yes, they will. All of them will go into the gateways, and units are going to be coming out pretty fast.
Oh, look at where StarDust went. He actually went all the way around here to try and spot out a proxy, but it's not there. And he's going to get over the map later because of this, and he's going to realize later because of that scout.
And it's a sentry, not a stalker being built too.
Oh,
with his double gas that he's been mining up. He's in trouble. This is almost a loss. This is very difficult to hold from this position. Almost impossible.
Yeah, the mothership core pops out. And still,
he can lose it almost straight away.
Yeah.
Well, he will lose it almost straight away. He has to pull probes here. The Zealot gets in. The sentry's going to pop out and be like, no, I'm not ready. I don't want to be used.
He's like, no! And that actually helped out that Zealot. That force field helped out the Zealot so the probes can't get on it properly. GG.
Almost impossible to hold. First takes map number 1 fast.
Yeah.
And if you think about all the first games today, I'm pretty sure here, and this is if anyone wants to go digging up and do some stats and crunching numbers, out of every single player in all of WCS from Season 1 last year to 2 to 3 to Season 1 this year, if we see another fast game, I'm pretty sure that first will be the fastest player to advance into the round of 16 in game time.
I think so.
From the round of 32 to 16, 2 games, 2 2-0s potentially, and incredibly fast games. We can call him the first rocket, something fast and first, or fast, furious and first.
It's near enough.
He will hold the record. I'm pretty sure about that.
You know what's even worse though is that first probably now comes over to WCS Europe and he's like, I don't see what all the fuss is about. Just like
this is easy. Why didn't I do this 3 seasons ago? Why did I play 3 seasons of WCS Korea when I could have come here and done this and be advanced through in 5 minutes? This is easy.
He just goes for another proxy again. King Sage on station. He's just like, oh, whatever. I don't.
This league's easy.
All right.
And so far,
oh, hello. Yeah. The countdown began for a second, then we stopped. So we'll be getting into King Sage on station in a second. But first, as you said, man, rocket time. He's just plowing through. All right.
He is really. This could be over very, very fast here. StarDust has to put up a fight, or like I said, his actual tournament is in jeopardy if he goes down to the 3rd match. Because as much as he beat Firecake in game number 1, depending on if Firecake beats Baby Knight or not, Firecake's going to come back probably a little bit more angry and furious than he was previous.
Yeah, and he could have done He could have done better in those games. I mean, there was room for him to actually kind of win out on those games. So, guys, let's get into it. Game number 2 now, as we have leading up in the top left-hand corner. It is Thirst, looking to advance in first. That would be useful for us, so we don't get mixed up. And spawning down at the bottom right-hand corner, we have our red Protoss. It's StarDust.
All right, okie dokie. So, I wonder which way this is going to swing here. Are we just going to be able to see double gases into tech choice and see where it goes from there? Or are we going to see aggression from first? Maybe putting on the pressure to StarDust a little bit. 3 gateway could be rather good for first to use here to force StarDust into a fight early on, to force into micros units. And if first is very comfortable in his control, which he should be, and has already displayed that today, then that could be an angle of approach here.
Yeah. Could be.
Definitely think putting the pressure on early to force fights is the best way, usually in this situation when you're fighting someone who does have a little bit of latency issue.
Oh, you're going to have a 12 gateway out of... Oh, no. Okay, so he did actually make another probe as well. So that 13 gateway is going to come out of StarDust eventually. As well, likewise, we have 13 out for first, so nothing too crazy early on.
I like the haha from StarDust in that previous one.
I mean, even when he loses, he's always quite cheerful. Whenever you see him at tournaments here, because we see him quite a lot now, actually, be it Intellect Stream Masters Cologne in the previous year or WCS. We're seeing a lot of StarDust.
Yep, StarDust is a big figure. He's a massive player who represents the Europe region. And like I said earlier on in today's broadcast, if he doesn't make the global finals this year, which is top 16 overall in the ranking, I would be surprised.
Yeah.
He is a contender. Funny that, he was ranked 37 last year, which is rather low, but he did miss out on a lot of Premier League action, only just making his way into Premier League for Season 3.
Yeah, that's true.
He
We
missed
can see
out
them
on
all.
qualification in Season 1. He got into Challenger for Season 2 and was in Premier for Season 3, but missed a lot of points in those first 2 seasons.
First, taking no risks, looking to scout out his natural as well as a little bit of his third base.
But it is both players on double gases, but the difference between the both of them is, of course, the scout patterns, but also more Chrono Boost here for first, who has already saved one up here, whether that be safety, just in case, whether he be looking out to spend it into the cybernetics core, maybe he wants to put on that pressure.
Yeah, the probe's just going to head over and have a look around, and they're not really going to see anything too eventful, really. There's 3 in each of these gases, and 3 in each gas over for StarDust as well. So they're just going to be looking for those tech options, as you mentioned.
Yeah. StarDust set up at a slower rate in terms of his potential aggression, because every Chronobus is in the Nexus. But we have one for the Mothership core here by first, and another that he can use wherever he wants to from that point. Where is it going to go? Is he going to save it? Is this going to be to rush out an air unit? Is it going to be to rush out an upgrade? Is it... What is it for?
He has the money to do something with it. Well,
it's going to expand here.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, and that definitely is going to be a little bit worrisome for StarDust, who wouldn't really be expecting that off the back of a Stalker. Usually you do this off the back of a Sentry to scout what's going on, to make sure you're safe against potential attacks. But off the back of a Stalker is confusing, and the Chrono Boost saved up is also confusing. But StarDust, with his own Mothership core here, could scout this out and start to make his own plan up, because so far, he likewise has only thrown down a Nexus himself.
First got the first shot off there, but he's going to run on back, and this Mothership core spots it.
This is good for StarDust if he spots this, because then... Oh, yeah.
Very close.
He thinks there's something trying to stop him. So you pretend you're in StarDust's shoes, you've gone for 1-gate Nexus, you want to know what's coming towards you. He pokes in, sees a Sentry now, sees so much Chrono Boost, and still no tech choice. There's the Stargate coming in, so he knows that it's most likely a Nexus down, followed by a Stargate from this point.
Because of the timing of the Stargate, right?
Right, it's really late. It should have already been finished.
Yeah. And behind all of this, StarDust's playing like a very defensive build in terms of the Nexus with the Robo being added on, but Twilight Council goes down with this as well.
And it's cancelled, that Stargate. Switch over to Robo.
Sneaky.
He saw the Nexus. He knows his own tech has been spotted. No need to try this out because it is going to be deflected.
All right. Well, another Stalker actually moves into position for StarDust at the front to try and keep an eye on the front. Whoa, double Forge. Is he...
He's mental.
Okay, it's cancelled. I was going to say.
Yeah.
That'd have been crazy.
All right, so a bit of pressure on the front door. 1 probe down.
Oh, nice.
From StarDust. Nice catch.
3 sentries for the defense here for first.
Oh,
wow.
Mothership core pokes in.
Where's he gone? Oh, okay.
Having a look, scout, sees the Stargate's gone and recalls out, sees the Robo. So normal game from this point, kinda, apart from the Twilight Council and Dark Shrine that's been added on here for StarDust. He did see the Robo, which means he knows that there could be observers, but this Hallucinated Phoenix is pretty big.
Yeah, having a little bit of a look around.
And
sees Twilight. Sees Dark Shrine.
Bada bing, bada boom.
And sees upgrades going down, so he's like, oh, well, okay.
This guy's kind of got everything right now.
Yeah.
So that's a good scout, which means the Dark Shrine and Dark Templar shouldn't be able to achieve anything in this game. He's sending out another Hallucinated Phoenix to double check it's not cancelled. Late Forge coming in for first, and StarDust is in pretty good shape. I do like his shape, and it's nice.
Is first actually going to take another base? He's got his probe up here. It sent out a little bit ago. There's the Forge going down for first. He's actually going to take another Nexus, I think.
Well, he still sees...
Pretty fast.
Nope, Dark Shrine's gone, notice. And he saw that. Nice double scout. Third base here is crazy.
Yeah, bewildering.
Oh, and the Observer of StarDust is gone too, which was on the natural there.
All right, that's a really good denial.
So just got blown up. From this point, this is incredibly greedy from first, because if we were to see StarDust throw down a bunch of gateways and just go, then that third's going to die fast. It really comes down to if this is going to be spotted or not. So far, you know, StarDust should be quite content in the lead that he has, because he knows he has a lead with a faster Forge. He's trying to burst into it, looking to get +2, looking to extend himself. He's now going to be sending Hallucinated Phoenix to find out what's inside his first base, to figure out if an attack is coming towards his 2 bases. But in reality, it's fast 3.
Yeah, this is a little bit scary. Somehow needs to spot this, otherwise it's going to be
Yeah, and he's
really,
going to
really
see
bad
all
news.
these gateways. He's going to be like, whoa. 3 gateways, 2, it's 5.
And he's not even anticipating the idea of a third
No,
base.
no,
He's
no,
just
not at
rallying
all.
towards the natural.
And he sees quite a few gateways there. So he may add on more gateways of his own.
He saw a probe go towards the third, though.
Oh.
He saw it. There you
All right,
go.
what is his reaction immediately? He's got a Dark Shrine hidden to the bottom left.
Oh, wow. Actually, that's really sneaky.
And more gateways. 4 gateways immediately upon seeing
Yeah.
that fast third.
And it's just that probe that tipped him off.
Well, 2. He did queue up 4, but he's 2.
All right. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's going to be hard to break this, though. I think it's almost too late.
Could be. I mean, he's going to be powering out Immortals. There's charge on the way for first as well here. Adding on the extra gateways. The income could start to stabilize around it.
I don't think first is going to be broken. I don't think so.
Is he chrono
Double
boosting into +2?
photon charge, double photon overcharge, zealot charge on its way, Archon's been added on. It's going to be hard for StarDust to do this. If he does, then great. First notices that StarDust's army's missing, so he realizes an attack is coming his way, or most likely coming his way. And he's going to only be getting his units ready.
He threw down his third behind this, did StarDust.
Yeah, so if he kills the third and then backs out, great shape. But will he even do that?
Yeah, I mean, he's sending this probe out up to the north to try and throw down pylons. On the left-hand side, he might look to on the right as well. He's actually pulling back with the majority of his army, so it looks like StarDust is just going to play from like a deficit and try and do something with these Dark Templars, but
yeah.
How many observers is there?
You're right, you got the plan perfect. I mean, he hasn't moved out. First is anticipating it, first is ready. If these DTs can do something, he's going to drop them in the main base here. There is a cannon, but he can target the cannon down quite easily with 2 DTs and even warp in zealots, and then start to get a little bit crazy inside his main base, and then just kind of continue on from a slower third and be kind of fine.
It's going to be difficult to really spot this before it's too late, as first now he spots his opponent's army moving out once again, and he's like, weren't you moving out just before? And comes straight on back. So there has to be something going on. First, he spotted the third base.
This drop in the main base is... Oh, look at that, 2 warp-ins. So fast reactions.
Jeez.
Immediately upon seeing that 2 zealots being warped in, and now it's already been showed. That's a big move.
And he even spotted it in the third base as well. Pretty fast. It killed, what, maybe 3 probes, and that's it.
That was a big pickup there by first reactions. And unfortunately for StarDust, doesn't quite get the damage done to slow his opponent down to kind of get on an equal stance. So first does enter this part of the game with a lead.
And I have to say, with 12 gateways available to him now, it's pretty major. I mean, now we're seeing the gateways being added for StarDust here, but it could be a little bit too late if First really ramps up this production and moves out now.
And that's what the third base so early gave him, was the access to higher gateways and a bigger army much faster here, which StarDust wanted to stop. But now he could be in trouble against this push.
Jeez, that army.
Fast third, powered up nice and early. And I don't this might not be stopped here.
And with the Chrono Boost that we saw focused into First's Forge, he caught up with his upgrade, so it's +2 against +2.
Yeah.
His army
StarDust doesn't know this army's there. So
no, I think he saw it moving out with the Hallucinated Phoenix.
Okay.
So, but still...
It might not be stopped anyway.
Yeah, it's going to be
This
so
is
difficult.
a very powerful army, very fast in the game because of that fast third. And unfortunately, if you can't punish somebody who does this, then
what do?
You can't really be stopped. You've allowed him to get away with this. And this is a big move from First, and this could be seeing him to the round of 16.
Yeah, this is very, very powerful. A lot of Zealots are actually trapped behind these Archons, so they're not going to be quite as effective. StarDust technically has the better concave in this engagement, but with one of the Archons dying at the front, that lets a lot of the Zealots through there for First, and he just has so much firepower.
What a killer.
Yeah.
4-0, easy peasy, lemon squeezy for First today. Absolutely killing it. Absolutely killed it today.
Looks at WCS Europe and says, this is my territory now, StarDust. Get out of the way.
And he joins Yoda. So far, 2 out of 3 players from the Global Esports Management Agency are already in the round of 16. Just one left, MC, which of course will play next week. But so far, so good for those boys. And if you think about their success, MC won last season, Shun won America, and now First and Yoda are in the round of 16. These newly resided European Koreans are rocking it in the WCS.
Yeah, the round of 16 is going to get scarier and scarier, and it just got that hold a little bit more with First advancing into the round of 16. All right, guys, that does it for our third series of the day. Join us after the break when we shall go to our losers match to see who is going to be unfortunately knocked out here. It's going to be either Firecake or Baby Knight.